Well, hello there. My name is Kurt Moody, and you're here watching me on this video because you are enrolled in a course this semester called Human Biology or Biology 105. And this is our first class, and I am your instructor. I'm here today to talk to you about how this course will work. And right away, you can see that we're not doing this in a classroom. You're going to be watching a lot of videos this semester. I need to explain to you what your responsibilities are going to be and how this material will be delivered. Right away, you can see that I have some capabilities here on these slides. I have a little like a laser pointer that I can draw your attention to things on the screen if I want to. I have a pen, a highlighter. I tend to like purple, so I can underline things or circle them. Here I have a Columbia College Biology Department logo, and I have a picture that I drew of a koala, because if you're in this class, you're a koala, and this is a koala with some sciencey stuff all around it to promote the science program. Because biology is a science, and it is in the division of health and mathematics and sciences, and that's where I work at Columbia College. This is a picture that I thought was representative of human biology somehow. And then the last thing on here that I need to draw your attention to is that you can see and hear me so that I can engage you in this material. I may not be visible on every slide, but I think that it helps for you to see me here. And this is my office at home where I'm recording this, so that you see my expressions and you can hear my voice, and you can get a sense of what's going on here. So again, my goal today is to talk to you for maybe about half an hour and explain to you some of the responsibilities that you'll have and some of the tools that I'll have in order to deliver this course, and hopefully we can get started in a productive way here. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Okay, well, here I am, and this is me, and this is my information. Again, I'm going to use my pen here, and I can be found at room 236 in the Science Center. That's where my office is, or downstairs in the lab, usually in room 111, which is where I spend a lot of time. That's my lab. There are a couple of phone numbers here that you can reach me at. That includes my cell phone number. Please do not abuse it. And my email address. So this is my information. Again, Kurt Moody, that's me, and let's learn a few things about this course. First of all, we have 3 texts. Oh my goodness, that sounds like too much, but here's the good news. They're all free. They are OpenStax texts. The first is called Concepts of Biology, and I abbreviate that CB. The second is called Human Biology, and I abbreviate that HB. And the third is called Intro to Environmental Science, and I abbreviate that ITES. These are online resources. There are links to all of them already loaded into the Canvas course shell, so you already have access to them. I'm going to recommend to you that you download these texts to a little jump drive, because what happens is if you don't do that, every time you click on it to open it up, it takes a long time to download it. It's much quicker if you save it to something and then you can just open it up as a PDF file. So that would be great. The course is being delivered in what we call a hybrid flipped format. That means that part of the course is going to be virtual. That's the hybrid part. The flipped part is that normally the part that's virtual turns out to be the lab part, the activity part. In this case, the activity part is going to be in person. We're going to meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays to do the in-person part. The lecture delivery part is going to be like this on video. So that's why we call it hybrid flipped. What you're looking at here is a video, but I'm creating it using PowerPoint slides. And so you're going to be clicking on links to videos on YouTube. And it'll open just like a video. You can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your tablet, you can watch it on your laptop. If you have a smart TV, you can watch it there. Anywhere that you can see YouTube, you'll be able to listen to these. But I don't want you doing that on the bus, and I don't want you doing it while you're watching a football game or something like that, no screen in a screen thing, because that's not how we learn. You need to do it someplace where you can isolate yourself, listen carefully, take notes. That's what learning in a college environment is about. So that's what I want you to understand. I'm going to be narrating and highlighting the concepts here. And for each of these lectures, you're going to have readings and some video links and some homework to do. So 3 things that you're going to have responsibility for. 4 if you include watching these videos. Watch the videos, do the readings, look at some additional video links, and then complete some homeworks also loaded on Canvas. Okay, so it's starting to kind of understand what we're building here in terms of expectations in this course. Again, we will be meeting twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll be doing lab types of activities there. We will also be having 4 exams, and we will be having those on some of the Tuesday, Thursday meeting times. In order to see the bigger picture of how this course is constructed, you should open and read the syllabus for the course, which is also loaded into the Canvas shell. Right on the front page, I've put a list of things that are useful to you, and one of them is the syllabus. And another one is the list of lecture links. And another one is the list of homeworks. And another one is any laboratory material. So take a look at that, please. In fact, that is your reading for this week. Got it? Your reading for this week. So we'll get started on this right away. Okay, well, what we're starting with here is a little bit about me, because sometimes that helps when you know some things about your instructor. Again, my name is Moody, and I come from the state of Maine, which is north of here. If you keep going north along the coast and you run into Canada, you went a little bit too far. So come back down. And my background is in oceanography or marine biology, and I have some pictures here of some of the things that I've been up to, ending in a picture of a bunch of students in my classroom. Here's a few details about me. Okay. Again, marine biologist, grew up in Maine. I think I have lots of pictures and stories to tell. I'll try to make that interesting. I've been at Columbia College since 2003, and I like being outside, and I am engaged in social and environmental advocacy. I also have a family, and we like to get outside together. This is me and my son Roscoe, who's at USC, and my wife, Dr. Tamara Burke, who's also a professor here at Columbia College. So that's a few things about me. If you have any more questions, hit me up with them at class when we meet on Tuesday. Okay, so this is kind of a text-heavy slide here. There's a lot of details here, and I guess I put it up because I get a lot of students asking, why does this have to be so complicated? Why are there so many responsibilities in this course? So I need to explain it a little bit. First of all, I'm recapping what I said about hybrid flipped. You can see that the major components are accessed online. Readings, lectures, and other video media, homework, not exams. Exams are not online in this course, so I'm just going to scratch that right out. And the flipped part is that our meetings that we'll be having, let's see if I can highlight this, which will be focused on laboratory activities. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be doing experiments, we'll be doing some demonstrations. We will be collecting some data and trying to figure out how to make the data into pictures so that we can interpret what those data mean. That's really the essence of science. And this is a biology course, but most importantly, it's a science course, because this is how you're fulfilling your Gen Ed science portion of your degree at Columbia College. Anyway, the next thing here is a big box of text here, and I want to make sure that we focus on this very clearly. So I'm going to read it. You're going to have to listen to me. Ready? This format will require you to engage with the class material outside of class meetings. You will not be able to understand the material by simply watching the lectures and attending lab. A traditional 4-credit lab science course usually meets for 5 to 6 hours a week and requires another 5 hours of outside of class work over the course of a 14-week semester. Do the math, it comes out to 150 hours of student time. That is for all lab science courses, not just at Columbia College, at all the colleges. I am required to account for that time, and I have prepared coursework responsibilities well beyond the scope of watching these presentations. Your self-motivation and conscientious engagement will be important for your success. All right, so this is important. You're getting 4 credits. It even seems like it's more work than just the 4 credits. That's just the way lab sciences work. I'm sorry, I didn't invent it. Let's continue. Okay, so this is some ideas I found about how I think you should be engaging with this material. This is a picture that I found of what I think a normal college classroom sciencey learning situation is like. Everybody's young people sitting in this classroom looking forward to the instructor, the professor, the sage on the stage. They're listening, and they're getting ready to write things down, maybe because they're going to get some cue that this is an important thing to write down. We won't be doing this. When we're in class, we will be engaged in activities, so it won't look like this. What should it look like when you're engaging with this material? Well, I think it should look like this. These are people who are watching a screen, who are focused on what's happening, listening carefully. They maybe have the headphones in, they maybe are drinking a cup of coffee, but they're focused on just the screen, not other things. They're not distracted, and they've got papers and pen. They're taking notes. They are being students, even though they're not in the classroom where people are watching them be students. This is really important. A lot of students can't handle this. This is what I expect from you. When we get together in lab, it'll look more like this. In fact, that's what this is. This is a lab at Columbia College. They've got their notebooks out, they're doing stuff, they're looking through microscopes, they're trying to find things, they're asking each other questions. They are engaging in the practice of science, and that's what we'll try to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll also have time to maybe ask questions and do a little review. It's a 75-minute period each one of those days, so we've got the flexibility to do this, and I want to be able to make sure that you're getting the virtual experience with the videos, but also that we are developing a professor-student relationship. And so this is just looking forward to seeing you in class or in lab, which is where we'll be, and getting some stuff done. I think that'll be great. Okay, well, this is a slide about attendance, and that's pretty important these days because with all the pandemic and with the change in the way that we're delivering this material, a lot of assumptions about attendance are made. So I want to make my policies very, very clear to you. First of all, attendance at all classes is expected. No absence is excused. I don't care what your excuse is, it's not excused. I'm not saying that terrible things don't happen and that maybe we should be compassionate and we should be flexible, but the college has ways to do that without my making exceptions for you. And I don't want to be in the situation of trying to decide whether your traffic court date is more important than your uncle's funeral or your cousin's wedding. I don't want to balance those things out and decide which ones are worthy of an absence. No excused absences, okay? If you miss class, that equals 1 absence. If you are late twice, that equals 1 absence. We have a time that we have to be at class, and I'm expecting you then. When I close the door and start talking during the classes that we have, if you come in after that, that's a tardy, that's a late, so I'm just going to be keeping track of those, okay? 1 absence is not being there. 2 lates is also an absence. Each of the meetings that we have, okay, will be worth 5 points in a scale of 500 points that I'm using. That's 120 points just for showing up, okay? Showing up on time and sitting down and listening and doing the things that I ask and being there engaging with the rest of us. I think that's a pretty good deal, but you have to be there, okay? Showing up late, showing up and being disruptive, that doesn't count. So each lab meeting will be worth 5 points, all right? Let's see, 5 points. Let me highlight that too. There we go. This is a pretty important one. No lab assignments will be made up. So if you come to me and you say, I missed class, is there any way I can do this thing to get those points? The answer is going to be no. okay? I just have too many students doing too many different things. And again, I don't want to get into that situation of trying to figure out what's more important than anything else. So don't miss class. It's that simple. This last one is a detail for the college. This is actually a federal law. If students miss 5 or more classes in a class that meets twice a week, if they miss 5 more classes, they're not supposed to be able to pass the course. So we give a grade called FA, which is failure due to absence. So again, in addition to missing out on the points, you're going to get a failure due to absence if you miss more than 5 of the classes. I hope I've made these clear. I have I guess that's a picture of me running with my coffee. It doesn't look like me at all. But it could be you running to class, and I hope that we won't have any problems with this. All right, and if we do, we can talk about it. We can try to work it out. But I'm pretty solid on these rules here. Okay, so here's a little slide about grading, and I do have a lot of students come to me. They say, Dr. Moody, how will my grade be determined? And so this is my attempt at kind of explaining that. I told you before, I've got a scale of about 500 points. And I will be putting points into the Canvas gradebook so that you can see where you're at. 5 points for every time you come to class. That's 120 points right there. There'll be 200 or so on the exams, and then there might be some the homework assignments that are important. Anyway, it adds up to about 500 points. All you got to do is keep up. Keep up by watching the videos, okay, doing the homeworks, coming to class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then if you've done all those things, you should be prepared for the exam. I have a little distribution of grades here that shows you where I'm at. We have this weird grading system at Columbia College where we don't give minuses and we don't give all of the pluses. Again, I didn't invent it. And so this is a distribution of grades from a bunch of my previous students in Gen Ed science courses. And you see there's a whole range, but I don't really understand why we do things this way. So that the distribution down below, what I've done is I've collapsed the pluses and the regular grades into just bars that represent A, B, C, D. And you can see that it's a nice normal distribution with C being the highest. Actually, the average of all these grades is a little bit higher than a straight B. That's what I tend to get with my Gen Ed science courses, is a B average. You'll notice that there's no Fs, which is, wow, that's great. Moody doesn't give Fs. Well, it's not that I don't give bad grades. It's just that when a student is failing my course, I go to them before midterm and I say, you need to get out of here because this grade is not going to help your GPA, and you need to try it again sometime later. It's better to get a withdrawal from the course than it is to get the grade and then have to fix it somehow or have it show up on your transcript. So it's not that I wouldn't give you a bad grade if you failed an exam. It's that if you're failing at midterm, I would say get out of here. So I don't tend to give Fs at the end of the semester. They're not showing up in here. Anyway, I don't know whether this reassures you or not. It's just letting you know that I have a system and that you will have information about where you're at the whole time as we're going along this semester. And then I have a picture with a mug saying totally qualified because, again, you're koalas. Okay, so this is great because you're getting a huge break here today. It says that I've been talking at you for about 20 minutes, and I'm almost done. In fact, this is my last slide. So this is labeled Moody's Advice. These are my suggestions to you in order to make sure that you are successful in this class. And the first thing on this list is the word read. This is really important. I find that I have a lot of students who, because of their previous experience in classrooms and previous classes, maybe previous science education, they've decided that they can actually do okay without doing the reading. That is not my intention. It is my intention for you to have to do the reading. There will be information there that I won't give you anywhere else. Please do the reading. I'm going to have a list with the readings and the extra videos on the Canvas shell. You'll be able to see those things. It's not too much. It's not going to overwhelm you, I promise. I have little sections of different chapters that go along with each lecture. So please, please, please do the readings. The next thing here, it says don't put off classwork. I know everybody's busy, everybody's scrambling, everybody's trying to get their things done, but things pile up, and you can never do it after it's piled up as well as you could have done it if you had done it on time. Again, no makeups for not showing up to class. And if you get behind and you're like, oh, I can't face Moody because I'm going to go, he's going to see that I haven't done the work. It's better to show up and to talk to me about it. That doesn't mean that that's going to fix any problems. But missing more things because you're feeling awkward, that's not going to help. It says here, show up and ask questions and take responsibility. This is primarily on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're all going to be there with the masks on, feeling this awkward pandemic thing. But if everybody puts a little bit of extra effort in, we can make this less problematic, less awkward, and we'll all be comfortable with it. The last thing here, it says don't wait. Don't wait. Your first exam grade is a very good predictor of your final grade. What that means is this. This graph down here, on the y-axis of this graph, it says final grade. And on the x-axis of this graph, it says exam 1 grade. Okay? And I have what's called a regression line between those points. The regression line is the line of best fit going through all of those points. All right? And if you remember from your math somewhere, the formula for a line on a graph like this, the slope of a line is y equals mx plus b. Well, there's no y-intercept here, so there's no b. So it's just y equals mx. And what that means is that the slope of that line is just about 1. If the slope of the line equals 1, then that means y equals b. So the grade on your first exam is a pretty good predictor of your grade in the course. Now I know there's points that aren't on that line, but the average of all of those points is a line where grade 1 equals grade for the course. Don't play chicken with me, okay? Don't say, I don't think I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to wait to see how hard this is. That's not going to help you out at all. I really want you to not wait and get engaged with this material as quickly as you can. In fact, I've made a little summary just to remind you of all the things you're going to have to do each week. Right here, it says that you have to, let me change my color here so I can draw over these and highlight them. You have to watch the lectures, which, you know what, you've already done that for this week. Not for the week, I'm sorry. Not for the week. You haven't done it for the week. You've just done the first lecture, all right? So you need to watch the lecture. You need to read the text that goes along with it. You need to watch the support videos, which I'll put also in a list on the Canvas shell, and you need to complete the homework. That box with those 4 things in it, you need to do that 3 times a week, okay? 3 times a week. So again, I spoke earlier. I said that the syllabus was your reading for this week, and I misspoke. The syllabus is your reading for this lecture, all right? There's going to be 2 more lectures for this week. So let's make sure that we get the scale of this very clear. So you've watched this lecture. You've done the reading. Let me go to my little laser pointer here. You've watched the lecture. You've done the reading. You watched the support videos. You're ready to complete the homework 3 times a week. And then finally, the last thing on this list is that you will show up and be responsible in lab. And that's only twice a week because that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, so I think that this list is a good way to remind you of the things that I expect. And I'll remind you when we get together this week on Tuesday so that we can do a little science, but also make sure that we're all on the same page or on the same slide when it comes to understanding this course. It's really nice talking to you today. Says I've been talking at you for about 25 minutes, and that's all I have to say. Looking forward to seeing you. Please get the homework done, and let's get this semester started.